Good morning, everyone. This is Nicole with the Nevada Division of Emergency Management. We will go ahead and get started here in just a few minutes. We still have people joining on, and we will jump right into the video. Good morning, everyone. This is Nicole Kelleher with the Nevada Division of Emergency Management. We will begin here in about 30 seconds. Thank you for joining us. All right, thank you everyone for joining us today for our first part in a 4-part series of learning Zoom grants. We will go ahead and start with a brief video and a question and answer session after.
Thanks for joining us for this tutorial on how to set up an application using Create. The first step is to go to the link provided to the right center. The page will look something very similar to this. If you add an existing Zoom user, you can log into your account at the top right corner of your page here. If you are a brand new Zoom user, you'll need to create an account in order to get started. Creating an account is quick and easy, and you only need the 4 pieces of information shown here. So let's go ahead and walk through the process.
I think there might be a volume issue.
Okay, my apologies. Please let me know if this is louder.
It sounds like you're really far away, Nicole.
Yeah, that's too hard to hear.
One moment while I see if I can make it louder for you guys. My apologies, everyone.
Thanks for joining us for this tutorial on how to set up an application.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Kelly Anderson. So obviously we're having some challenges with the audio, but I do see that Anagram is on the line. Anna, are you able just to take us through this with your with live narration, and then we can get through this first one?
We could try that, or another option is I actually have this same video saved. I've got it pulled up right now. If you all are able to give me hosting privileges in Zoom, we could try to I could just share my screen and share this same video, and perhaps the audio might work better from my end. So we could try that, and then otherwise it would take me just a few clicks to get set up to create a new application, but yes, we could do it live.
Okay, so thanks, Anna.
Thanks
And
for joining us for this tutorial on how to submit an
oh,
application.
here it comes.
The first step is to go to the link provided to you by the funder.
So
The page
now I
will look
hear
something
it.
very similar to this.
Nicole,
If
can you
are
rewind
an
it?
existing Zoom Grants user,
And I'll be quiet.
hi. Thanks for joining us for this tutorial on how to submit an application in Zoom Grants. The first step is to go to the link provided to you by the funder. The page will look something very similar to this. If you are an existing Zoom Grants user, you can log into your account at the top right corner of the page here. If you are a brand new Zoom Grants user, you'll need to create an account in order to get started. Creating an account is quick and easy, and you only need the 4 pieces of information shown here. So let's go ahead and walk through that process. So for my email address, we'll say newaccount@zoomgrants.com. I'll input a password, my first name, and last name. Once you click the New Account button here, the system will let you know when the account has been created. Once you get the confirmation that your new account has been created, you can go ahead and see the program listed towards the bottom of the page here, and you can click one of 2 links here. You can actually preview the full content of the application before you apply, or if you're ready to jump in and get started, you can go ahead and click the Apply button to view the application and start inputting your information. Now the system will give you some prompts along the way, like you see here in red. The first thing that you'll see on any application is if your funding organization has provided a description of the program, any instructions, or any resource documents, those will appear at the top of the page. You can hide this information once you've read it by clicking the buttons here, or you can just leave it in view to refer back to as often as you need. As you scroll down the page, you'll notice that Zoom Grants functions on a tab-based system to keep the application organized into sections. You can complete an application in a non-sequential order, meaning you can start with the Documents tab if you would like, or you can go in order. The only exception to this is if your funder is using a pre-screening or a pre-application process. That does need to be completed first before you can move through the rest of the application. As you move down further in the application, you'll notice at the top of each tab, there could be instructions here for you to review. Please take a moment to always read those instructions, as your funder may have some specific requirements for each individual tab. Now, as we move further down the application, it's important for you all to complete every field that you see here. For example, we want to make sure to put in a telephone number. And once I input this data, you'll also see the autosave feature kick in. That brief flash of the saving screen will let you know that your work has been saved. So again, there is no save button in Zoom Grants, but your work will be automatically captured anytime that you click out of a field. Now, as we move further down the page, you'll notice all of this information that needs to be completed for the application. Then down towards the very bottom, you'll see this section for collaborators. In Zoom Grants, a collaborator is anyone that you, the application owner, or the person who just created the account in that step prior that we just went through, it would be anyone that you want to invite to work with you on this application. Now, it's important to note that collaborators do not have the authority to submit an application on behalf of the organization. Therefore, please make sure to designate the account owner or the person who creates this application, creates the account on behalf of your organization, as the person that you want to submit the application on your organization's behalf. Collaborators can edit the application. They can certainly work on it, make changes to the responses, upload documentation, and you can have an unlimited number of collaborators. But again, only the account owner, in this case, Anna example, would be the only person who would see a submit button when they're working on this application. Now, in addition to collaborators, kind of along the same lines, but a little bit different here, are additional contacts. Perhaps you have someone in your organization, maybe it's the CEO, for example, who might want to stay in the loop of anything that happens with this application, but doesn't necessarily need to have editing access like a collaborator. You could add their email address to this box here. Now, one more thing that I'll point out that's important on this page is down here at the very bottom, this application ID number. This is typically going to be a 6-digit number that identifies your application in Zoom Grants. If you ever need to reach out to our tech support team, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in this presentation, if you're able to reference this application ID number, it's very helpful for our team to be able to quickly identify your application and help you troubleshoot if you ever run into any problems. I've scrolled back up to the top of the page here, and we'll go ahead and click through some of these tabs so you can see the process and the flow of applying for funding in Zoom Grants. So I've clicked into the next tab here, and you'll see that there are various different question types, such as a single line with a 255 character limit, a multiple choice question, paragraph style questions, etc. Again, it is very important that you answer every single question that you see on the page here. And towards the bottom of the page, if you see that there's a required document that needs to be uploaded, those must be uploaded before you can continue with the application. In fact, Zoom Grants will not allow you to submit an application if a question has been left blank or if a required document has not been uploaded. In this case, what we're looking at is a pre-application or pre-screening process on this tab. So before you can move forward with that application, you will need to complete everything that you see here on this tab. Now, each application in Zoom Grants is going to follow the same concept, but of course the content will be a bit different. So for this example, our next tab that we'll look at is the project worksheet. And there are just 5 questions here for you to answer on this particular tab. You can navigate to the next tab by clicking the next button, or the previous tab by clicking the previous button at the bottom of the page, or you can simply scroll back up and click into the next tab that you see here. The next tab in this particular example is the approved project worksheet budget. Depending on which application or which program that you're applying for, your tabs may be labeled differently, but again, the process is the same no matter which program that you're applying for in Zoom Grants. We've got the instructions at the top of the page, and then this tab is broken down into 3 parts. You'll see the project worksheet budget here, section 2 on this part of the page, and then down at the bottom, you'll have a narrative section where you can include some text to describe the items and amounts that you entered above. Now, finally, we're going to navigate to the Required Documents tab. Following the same format as the previous tabs that we've looked at, you'll see the instructions here at the top of the page, and you'll see that one of the 3 documents has been marked as required, and the other 2 may or may not apply to your organization. So we'll walk through the process of how to upload a document in Zoom Grants. In order to upload a document into Zoom Grants, you'll want to click the Upload button that you see on the right-hand side of the page. This will bring up a new tab with a few steps for you to follow to upload the document. The first step is to give the file a description. We'll call it Example Document. The next step is to determine which type of attachment. In most cases, you'll want to leave this as the default radio button here, the File Upload. There may be some examples if you're uploading a very large file that's over 4 megabytes. You may want to link to that instead in your cloud storage, Dropbox or Google Shared Drive, for example. But in most cases, you'll just leave this as the default to File Upload. The next step is going to be to choose your file. So we'll click the Choose File button, and then we'll just choose an example document from my desktop. Once I've verified that everything is correct, I'll click the Upload Now button. Before I click the Upload Now button, I will point out that Zoom Grants supports various different file types, and you can see all of those types here. So we'll click the Upload Now button. The system gives us a prompt that the file is uploading, and then you get another prompt here that the file has been uploaded, and we can test the link to our document by clicking here, or after you've tested the link and determined that it's correct, you can just go ahead and close the window here. If you've made an error and accidentally uploaded the wrong document, it's quick and easy to delete the document here. Once you return to this page, you'll see the note that the list will be updated when the page is refreshed. So our document isn't going to automatically show up, but once we click this refresh page button here or on your browser, that document will show up on the list. I've refreshed the page now, and we see the link to our example document here. You can again test the link by clicking this live link of the title of the document, or you can delete it if you've accidentally uploaded the wrong document. Now, once you're ready to submit your application, you've got the Submit Now button towards the top right of the page. We'll go ahead and click the Submit Now button, and the system tells us in red any information that was not filled out or completed as part of the application. We can see that on the Summary tab, like it says here, the organization's address was not entered, and on the project worksheet, we did not answer question 3. Any information that was incomplete on the application will be highlighted in red like you see on number 3 here to make it easy for you to find if you've missed a question. In order to submit the application, we'll need to go back and correct those missing items. I've taken a moment to make the corrections needed, and now we're ready to attempt to submit our application again. We'll navigate back over to the Submit Now button, and once I click that, you'll notice that the red error message that we previously saw no longer appears, and instead you'll see the disclaimer text off to the left-hand side of the page. Once you've read and agreed to that disclaimer, you'll input your initials, and then click the Submit Now button to officially submit your application. It takes just a moment, and then you'll receive a screen that looks like this that lets you know that your application was submitted successfully. If you'd like to download a PDF copy for your records, you can do so by clicking the button here. Now, if you have any questions along the way about how to use Zoom Grants or how anything functions in the system, we encourage you to visit our help site at help.zoomgrants.com, which will take you to Zoom Grants University. We have a page dedicated specifically for applicants to answer a lot of your frequently asked questions. Now, if you have a question about the content of a particular application, or perhaps how the administrator would like for you to answer a certain question, we would encourage you to direct those questions to your program administrator. But if you've got a technical question, by all means, feel free to reach out to our tech support team by navigating to, again, help.zoomgrants.com and clicking the Submit a Ticket button here. You can also reach out by email by sending an email to questions@zoomgrants.com. Thanks again for your time today, and we wish you well on your application process.
Okay, this is Kelly Anderson again, and I just want to thank you for joining us. We have 66 participants, which is amazing for our first time out of the gate. And I know that there was some conflicts with this date and time. We have definitely made some progress with Zoom Grants, and I want to open this session up for questions. But before we do, again, I just want to thank you, and I appreciate you guys being here and listening. We are also going to post this recording so that the people that couldn't attend or the people that want to revisit this training have the opportunity to do so. And I just want to point out one thing that's really important about the application process is the collaborator portion. Please ensure that you add your collaborators to that area when you submit an application. We found that that is the most challenging area, where if you all of a sudden are not managing grants, or you leave your agency, or you don't have the proper people on the system, it makes it very difficult for others to continue. So I would like to open it up for questions and answers. Of course, we do have Anna Graham here, who is our customer service specialist with Zoom. and she can answer your questions as well as my team. So let's go ahead and open up the question answer session. Thank you.
Hi, Kelly. This is Kathy from Washoe County. Is there any expectation that you guys will expand the size of the file that can be uploaded to Zoom Grants anytime soon?
Hi, this is Anna from Zoom Grants. As of right now, we're sticking with the 4 megabyte. That's a relatively large file size. In my understanding, I believe that's roughly about 500 pages. If you do have a document that's larger than that, you could use that option to link to a Dropbox or a cloud storage so that you can keep that file there in the cloud and just link to it instead. Another thing I'll point out is on the Documents tab, when you see the individual document request, you can upload multiple documents per request. So you can just click the upload button again and add multiple documents. So if you needed to break up a very large document into smaller bite-sized pieces and upload multiple parts to that, you can do that method as well.
Okay, that's just annoying. And the document that wouldn't upload was only 60 pages.
That's something that we'd be happy to take a look at. If there was an isolated incident like that, it could have been something with, those of you who were applying this past quarter or so, you may have noticed the speed issues with Zoom Grants. And so I'll touch on that very quickly just to let you all know that we are making extreme progress in getting things back to normal for you all. And so I'm wondering if that might have been an issue that was related to the speed. So if it's something that you still need to upload it into the system, we can maybe chat afterwards, or if you wanted to reach out by email and let me know, we can definitely identify that document and see what the issue was with that.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Any other questions for Anna or my team? Just remove yourself or take the mute off, and we're here to answer your questions. Thank you.
Hi, this is Leslie at City of Henderson. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to do a request to, I was going to kind of ask I think the Treasury office at State of Nevada. And I don't know if this is something that you are aware of, a conversation already happening, but is there a possibility that Zoom Grants notices or applicant use can be centralized? There are several different Nevada departments that are using Zoom Grants, and are the notices that are going out, and then how the collaborator part works, and then tracking of grants that are already in process when we have a changeover in personnel. I'm just wondering, is there any conversation started at the state level yet about centralizing that, or is each Nevada department doing it separately?
Hi, this is Kelly Anderson. I'll take that question. So I appreciate the comments. Zoom Grants is very new to the Division of Emergency Management and Public Safety. We just started our account last year about the same time for Homeland Security. And we were unaware of other state agencies using Zoom Grants at the time. Now, during this process, we did learn that CBDG grants and housing grants were using Zoom University. The challenge, I think, with integration of all state agencies really comes down to different administrators, different rules for Zoom Grants when it comes to releasing applications. We have very specific notice of funding application processes. So honestly, I do not see any time in the near future that we integrate all these different grants on one platform, because if we were to do that, then administrators from across the state could go in and change the way that we manage grants and the way that we release grants. And it would be a little bit difficult, I think, on our side to have other administrators in our system that maybe do not know how we administer a disaster grants or Homeland Security or EMPG. However, I will take your comments back. We do have a board that meets regarding grants management, and one of my staff, a supervisor, Samantha Hill Cruz, sits on that and goes to those meetings. So I will ask her to take that back and see what kind of information we can get from that board or committee. So I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions for Anna or myself or my team that we can answer specifically on the application process? If we don't have any questions on the application process, of course, we can answer or try to answer any questions that you may have about the platform, applications, or anything else that you would like to bring up. I'll give you just another 30 seconds or so.
So I have a question. This is Paul Shapiro from Truckee Meadows Water Reclamation Facility. If I started on a grant application last year and missed the deadline, can I pick that up again where I left off, or do I have to start all over again?
That's a good question. It really depends on the notice of funding opportunity and how the application was submitted in the system. So if you're speaking specifically to a disaster grant and it's the COVID disaster 4523, you should be able to pick that grant right up and submit, because we have not closed that opportunity. But
No.
if you're referring to a different grant, that might be a challenge. So which one are you talking about?
Yeah, this was a earthquake mitigation grant.
Kelly, I think he's talking FEMA Go, which is a different system.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Janelle.
I'm actually not sure this is the first year for FEMA Go. And so I'm not sure if it would be the same, picking up on that grant and moving forward for next year, or if, I don't know exactly how that's going to work. In the past systems, you have not been able to do that. So I can't 100% answer that question, but a little bit of it'll be a little wait and see.
Okay, thanks, Janelle. I sent you an email, by the way.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you for that question. And so it's a really good topic to kind of hit on. So Zoom Grants is a state, well, it's a portal that the state pays for, and Zoom provides that platform for us. And really what this does is it doesn't take away from any federal platforms that you are required to submit your applications. And I know that it is kind of challenging trying to manage all these different portals. But we have several different portals that we use. And so I want to make sure that we kind of go over those portals and ensure that we understand the difference between those. And so like Janelle just stated, she's got the FEMA Go system. We have the non-disaster grant system. We have the FEMA portal system. So it doesn't replace any of those. But what this platform really does is it enables the Division of Emergency Management to collect application information for you to submit your application, for us to issue a grant, and then collect the quarterly financial reports, as well as the program reports to reimburse you. And so it's really that last process in order to get your grant award to you from the state of Nevada. So thank you for that question. I appreciate it. Any other questions? Okay, if we don't have any more questions, we'll go ahead and end this training. And we're also going to send out the training notification and where to find the link So for those partners or coworkers that were unable to watch it with us, and then we're going to have the next series next Wednesday to go over the next part of the series, and we'll be sending out an update for that. So I want to again thank you for attending, and if you have any questions specifically for Anna, you can always send them to the disaster recovery grants email address. And also the DHS grants email address, and or to myself specifically, and we'll answer those questions for you. Thank you and have a great day.